Hello everybody, Average Gamer. Welcome to a quick little review on a game that I just saw recently pop up on my feed in Steam here, called Project Wingman. So basically it's a fighter simulator game that I did some looking into, and it basically looks like a cheaper version or a less expensive version of Ace Combat. I was going through the whole thing, and I was honestly contemplating going, you know what, the game looks really good. I think that's a Mirage. You got the frog foot, the SU 57, 27. Can't remember what that one is. What looks like an F-18, possibly a Rhino variant. Can't quite tell what the cockpit is for this aircraft. You can see the Fighting Falcon. You can see the Mirage, or is that? No, that's just someone called Falcon. Talon. So this, I'm assuming, is possibly another Mirage. You got an F-14 Tomcat. There's another Mirage. And I was really interested in this. And I was like, well, it's definitely got some interest in it. And, you know, it's definitely very interesting. Then I started looking at like some of the recent events and announcements from the developers. That doesn't want to seem to load. There we go. Took a second. So the first one is, here's the post-release. Here's version 1.0, etc., etc. I started looking, and the first thing was in November of this year, which started kind of catching me off guard a little bit. I'm like, wait. So how long has this game been in development for if their first post was in November of this year? And they're showing, the Fulcrum there, the F-18, MiG-21. It's like, okay, this is actually looking really good. Looks like a MiG-29, an F-4 Phantom. I'm looking at this going, this looks cool. And there's whatever that is there, which might be some sort of, I don't know. They're showing, hey, now mind you, that's like, if they've been working on the game and keeping it quiet, or you can find the information on other sources, cool and all, but all of a sudden it just pops up on November 5th and was like, cool, this is the game we have, hey, here's the release date type thing. And I was looking, I'm like, okay, this is very interesting, this is really cool. This looks like, for me, it's going to be a game that I'm looking for, because I played DCM on my own. I play Arma, and mostly with the aircraft, helicopters, things, and the vehicles and stuff. I love my Hawks 1 and 2 on the Xbox. Loved it. Patchy game. Met a really good friend of mine through actually that game, and played a lot. I love my flight sims. I always have. There's always been something I really, really enjoyed. Love aircraft. I go to the Toronto International Air Show every year. Watch aircraft. I've seen, F-117s, SR-71s. That was cool. It just kind of went past us, but once, and that was it. Seen, B-52s. I've seen it all. If it's, as long as it's flown in the last 25 years. Ooh, 25 years, holy smokes. At the Toronto International Air Show, I've seen it. Favorite still is the F-22. That was pretty cool. But so I love aircraft, and I saw this game, and I'm like, okay, well, if it's has the aesthetics of a Ace Combat. Ace Combat has tons of aircraft. They're all properly licensed, so everything is amazingly detailed. And I'm looking at this thing going, 20 plus aircraft from for the trailers. This is looking awesome. And then November 24th, you notice that's almost the week before it's released. So it was released, I think, on the Friday. The week before release, they released this little thing saying, hey, just so you know, we're cutting back on the aircraft. They're like, there's going to be 20 planes, and even that might change between now and release. So this whole thing of there's going to be 20 amazing aircraft in the game. If not, there may be even less now. It's like, well, wait a second. You're telling us a week before the game's released that you're now cutting back the aircraft in an aircraft simulator game. Now, if it was like the F-22 Lightning Simulator I got back in the day by Nova Logic, where it was just the F-22, cool, no big deal. But the moment you say, hey, there's 20 airplanes in an airplane simulator game that has totally a bunch of different aircraft, and then you say the week before release, oh, there might be less. But at no point do you say what aircraft are in the game. Now, they show pictures here of, I think it's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 aircraft. It was interesting, but then this part caught me. I'm like, okay, well, these are the 15 aircraft in the game, right? But then all of a sudden it says you'll have to wait until release to fully parse out what the exact list is. But allow us to preview the non-spoilery examples. So are these examples of aircraft that are in the game, and we had to find out the 5 other ones? Or are these non-spoilers because this is just what's not? I mean, what really cheeses me off is there's an F-15 and there's an F-15. So I'm assuming it's the F-16 variant, probably the Viper. But then what catches me is I think it's right here. There's the F-16 again. Su-27, Su-27. So a lot of these aircraft are doubled up in the pictures. So I'm looking at this going, well, hold on. Out of the 15 pictures you've posted, out of the 20 aircraft that you said there's in the game, there's only 6 airplanes here. There's the F4, the MiG, the Mirage, that's 3. The Viper, I'm going to assume that's the Viper variant of the F-16. The F-15, Su-37, that's 6. F-14, that's 7. Harrier, that's 8. F-18, that's 9. MiG-29, it's 30. And then the 29, that's 30. So that's, wait, crap, I just said that wrong. But there's about like 8 or 9 aircraft. Possibly 10. I may obviously miscounted. But that's way different than the 20. That's half. Now, on top of that, you do this a week before release. That means that at some point prior to release, so prior to this VR integration, which was on the 22nd, which is 2 days before that, or before the campaign was introduced, which has a MiG-21 picture in it, you removed aircraft, or you're just not making them playable. In my opinion, I'm thinking they're not making them playable, and they're going to release them as DLC, which is already causing me a little hesitation. I was thinking of getting this game. I actually thought it was coming out in January. But now I look at this and I'm like, well, wait a minute. This is the definition of bait and switch, where you're telling everyone this is going to be an amazing, RPG style campaign playthrough where you have a campaign a la Ace Combat 6, but then on top of it, there's this like conquest mode where you can go around and slowly, take over areas and hire pilots and hire aircraft and all this stuff, which is cool. But then the way I look at this is, well, if I only have 6 aircraft, what if I want, like, it's just like dynamic missions and all this stuff for their conquest mode. It's like, well, what if I want to get an F-22 or even an F-117? Well, F-117s are now retired, but like an F-22 or F-35, a B-2 Spirit bomber, and do a stealth mission. Can't because they're not in the game. Now, mind you, they never may have been in the game, but it's like, well, hold on. That's not even an option now. Well, what about ground attack? Because I had seen pictures earlier of an A-10 Warthog. It ain't here. There's nothing of an A-10 anymore. It's gotten to the point now where I'm looking at this going, I don't know how I feel about this. Um, it's like, okay, I understand you having to change things, but the fact that you started posting about your game on the 9th on Steam, and then within what 2 weeks, you're already telling people you're cutting content, and then you're saying, oh, by the way, we have our release date. You're like, hey, we're on Steam. Hey, this is our sale date. And then about a week and a half later, hey, by the way, we're only going to have half the aircraft we actually said we were 2 weeks ago. That tells me either mismanagement or whatever, and it kind of pisses me off a little bit, where I see something, I get really excited for it, and then just before release, that pops out. And I don't like it. So honestly, I'm not going to get this, for the fact that it, for me, feels like the bait and switch, where it comes out going, hey, this is what we made. It's mostly made. It's coming out in a couple weeks. Get it when it comes out. And then just before it comes out, it's like, hey, by the way, we cut a bunch of content that you're excited for. And we're not going to tell you what it is. We're not going to tell you what's in the game. We'll show you a bunch of pictures. But of the 20 aircraft we said are going to be in here, probably not 20. And here's a picture of 6 or 8 aircraft that are at least probably in the game. So it's like, I'm getting half the aircraft that I wanted. No. That's enough of a rant for me today. Thanks for watching. I hope you watch the whole thing and watch me rant. If they start releasing more games down the road like they said they will, then maybe I'll take another pass at this one. But for now, Ace Combat seems to be the way to go. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.